Hi, my name's Karen. Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to get excited about singing the national anthem? Why don't Australians feel patriotic to this musical tribute of our culture and our society? Maybe you just haven't thought about it. But what if there's an underlying problem with the lyrics that you just can't put your finger on? Well, I'm going to show you what I think it means. So let's look at the lyrics. The advance of the title means progress and is a very specific metaphor, that of a military movement. The progress of the white race over the continent is an advance. Keep this in mind as we continue further. Let's look at the word fair. There are three possible meanings for this word: fair as in beautiful, fair as in just, and fair as in white. When we sing this anthem, we are literally advancing ourselves into the fair future. The message of advancing a fair Australia is heightened through repetition and emphasis, and through the dignifying effect of an anthem setting. The first two words of the anthem, Australians All, has always been a contentious line because it was changed from Australians Sons in 1984. But making the anthem gender neutral was not all that needed changing to make it politically correct. The next two words open the anthem as if it was a hymn or a prayer. Using the words "let us sing" is akin to being in a Catholic church service, where they use the term "let us pray, let us sing." Add to this that rejoicing is something only ever referred to in choral music, and that has been musically arranged as a hymn. Now combine this hymn with the knowledge that our government structure is based on a Westminster format where our parliaments on every level begin with the Lord's Prayer. And we can conclude that a message of Christianity is thinly veiled within the lyrics of the anthem. However, less than 40% of Australians are Christians, and of those, only 9% are attending church services. For we, the fair people, are young and free, except of course for old people who account for about 15% of the population. We should also bear in mind that this line refers to Australia as a young nation, neatly excising the tens of thousands of years of Indigenous existence on this continent. We've golden soil. Except for the deep red sand of our vast deserts, we've managed to translate our wide brown land into golden soil, leading me to surmise that a real estate agent wrote the lyrics. I would branch out to say that the soil is certainly golden for mining magnates, reaching a wealth so far above average Australians that even if you won first division prize in the lottery, you would still not come close to making their earnings, making the gap between rich and the working class quite significant. And wealth for toil belies the ridiculous notion that the harder you work, the more you get paid. The minimum wage is $12.40 an hour and is paid to some of our hardest working citizens. Women, too, are still yet to be paid an equal wage to men, as this recent graph shows. There is no doubt that wealth for toil is quite unevenly distributed. Also, women undertake most of society's care work and unpaid home duties, leading to no wealth for toil. In history's page, let every stage. It is in our personal and national interest to ensure that history is recorded accurately and fairly. Our pre-colonisation history is yet to be updated correctly in our Constitution. In fact, there will be a referendum in 2017 to decide if we all agree to include Indigenous Australians in history's page. In the next line, you will sing the reason why they are excluded: because we advanced Australia fair. And we are implored to sing it joyfully. For those who've come across the sea, except of course if you've arrived from a foreign country seeking refuge, in which case you can expect to spend at least a couple of years in a detention centre. If you're lucky, it'll be somewhere warm, probably in the middle of a boundless plain. Ironically, we've not been all that keen to share the bounty of Australia, particularly with those who've come across the sea. But what is deeply ironic about this line is that the emptiness of the land was due to the advancing of Australia Fair. The land is empty because we emptied it. We, the fair people, have land to share because we took it. Advance Australia Fair, how it was chosen, its status, the suppression of its earlier version, what it says in the lyrics and what it fails to say, is officially accepted to represent Australians. In today's world dominated by human rights consciousness, we have evolved radically from the last couple of decades, and yet this anthem doesn't represent evolutionary thinking or actions. Racists have never lived in fear in Australia, but Aboriginal people, Asians, asylum seekers, and Muslims certainly have. Let's have national symbols that are powerful, attractive, and reflect who we are. A national anthem is supposed to be one of the central elements of national identity, but ours is just plain embarrassing. With a strong national identity, we might be less inclined to be fearful of invasion. Click like and share this page so that we can get this message across. Together we can begin the process of democratic change.